Boys, working on the turd lid again here. Got the power steering pump off. I'm going to throw this one on. This one has a reservoir connected to it, so that's why I'm going to put that one on there instead of this one with this external jobby here. So this thing will be pretty nice. Got this for 35 bucks, junkyard for the win. So that'll be nice and free up some space. Gobbed a bunch of crap all over, but that's okay. So I'm going to throw this junk on there and then fill it with fluid and go drive it. I'm probably going to try to straighten out the steering wheel too, because the steering wheel's like that. I did a little bit more work on this steering section here. I took that metal loop off that I had holding the column over, and then I actually pulled this whole thing out, and that little shaft that's inserted down here where this bolt is, this pinch bolt, I ground that down a little bit more so it would spin freely in there, and then I could line up the steering wheel a little bit better. But I'm not able to tighten it down enough, so I cut these little notches in there to try to get that pinch bolt to tighten down a little bit more and clamp down on this shaft that's inside here, and it's just not really working. It'll work for a little bit, it's straight for a little while, and then usually when I take a hard left turn, it rotates a little bit, and it's just enough that it's tight, and it'll still steer decently, but it does shift and kind of loosen up a little bit, so the wheel turns a little bit. So I think I'm just going to weld it. Fuck it. So I think what I'm actually going to do with that thing is like back it in and out of the garage a few times, make sure the wheel's straight, and then put a tack weld on it. Because one of the problems that I'm having is this bolt that's on the back side of this thing, right here, this pinch bolt, it's actually on the back side of it. I wish it was on the top. So it's on the back side, so I can get it kind of where I want it, but then I actually have to rotate the wheel to be able to tighten that bolt. So that's not really working. So I'm just going to get everything straight, steering wheel straight, wheel straight, and then I'm going to come on the underside of here and then throw a tack weld on it. And then I'll go test drive it, and if it's in the right spot, make sure it's good. Then I'm going to pull this whole linkage shit out of here and then weld it. Let's try this thing. Hi, bud. Just back it straight up right now. Looks pretty good. Try that. Well, unfortunately, the same kind of thing happened. The wheel's a little crooked, but I'm going straight. So I'll have to take it back and turn it and re-tack it. Right, so after several failed attempts, probably 3 or 4 times, took it around the block after welding it. I took that bolt out, split that pinch bolt gap apart a little bit. So this will spin kind of freely in here now, so I can really pick like any position that I want. Before, the welds were lining up on like a flat spot on that lower shaft, so I couldn't get it. Like I would weld it, it didn't work, and then I'd crack it free and turn it as far as I could, but it would always catch and then end up pretty much back in the same spot. So like here was the old weld, so now I'm going to be able to turn it a little bit this way, and then I'll try to re-weld it there. And we'll see what that does. I think I pretty much got it where I want it. I do have it tacked on both sides now, so I'll probably try to pull that whole assembly out and then weld it all the way around. Now that I'm welding it, I'll probably take some of these bigger ends here and grind those down, because it's all going to be one piece, and I'll probably try to round this thing off instead of making it square. I didn't get a video when I was going around showing that it was straight, because I went around the block like 100 fucking times just trying to get it straight, and it wasn't working at all. So I had it like tweaked to the left for a little bit, and then I couldn't get it to move, and then I got it to go, and then it was too far, and it seemed like I would come back, I would mark it, and I was even using tape on the steering wheel to mark straight so I could turn it and get it in the right spot, and every time I would take it back out, it would be like almost in the same spot that it was even after I tweaked it. Like I would crack the weld off, reference the weld line, and then move it a little bit and use the tape on the steering wheel to make sure it was moving. But then it seemed like it was always going back. So after a few times of doing that, I realized, actually the time before the last time, I realized that when I was tacking it on just the one side, it was actually pivoting around the weld, and that was throwing it off. So I decided to tack it on both sides. Like tacked it, spun the wheel around, tacked it the other side, and then it actually worked perfect. So one of the times I was going around, I noticed a little extra play in the wheel. That's when I decided to look to see if it was pivoting around. So I would move the weld a little bit, but then it would just like pivot the steering wheel column, and it seemed like it was in the same spot, even though it was welded in a different spot. So it was a lot of dicking around. I'm glad I figured it out, and actually put like 5 miles on the truck just going around the block testing it. And I did have, if you've seen it in the last video, I did have that little thing that was pulling this section over to hold it over, but this is actually, it works pretty decent without it. It doesn't hit at all, and it doesn't hit when I turn it, so it's like right in the right spot, and it just stays exactly where I need it to. So I'm not going to have that thing pulling it over, which is kind of nice. So I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do with that. It's working for now, so I'll probably just leave it how it is. I took this junk out now and see how this looks. Welded the crap out of that, and hopefully this thing is going to be in the right spot now. Did some searching on eBay, because usually there's a rubber boot over the U-joints. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe I could find a big piece of heat shrink tubing. So I went on eBay, and then I found a piece of 2-inch by 24-inch heat shrink that has a 2-to-1 shrink ratio, so it'll shrink down to 1 inch. And that'd be perfect for that thing. So I'll be able to slip it over, because it's just under 2 inches. I'll be able to slide it right over and then heat it up a little bit, and it'll shrink right around it. And it was like $8, so if it doesn't work, who cares? If it works, it'll be really cool. So that's about it for this video. That wasn't really a whole lot, not very too exciting, but starting to get the finer things kind of dialed in, so that's good. Still not having any problems with it overheating or doing anything weird, so that's good. I did order a couple pieces for a different intake. I ordered the 90 and then the reducer, and I still got to get like an aluminum pipe and stuff for that. So that'll be fine. I don't know when that's going to come, but it's on the way. So I'm just going to drive it with no hood from now on, or until that happens. So yeah, I'll keep kind of putzing around and doing different stuff. And I do want to let you guys know that I'm flying out of town for work in a couple days, so I might not be posting, like next week, I might not be posting really any videos, and I have a wedding coming up. My wedding, I'm getting married, so in 2 weeks. So I'm guessing I'm gonna be out. I know I'm gonna be out of town like during the wedding and afterwards, so I'm not gonna be making any vehicle videos then. If I've had anything cool going on, I'll make a video of that stuff though, if you guys want to see that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Be sure to subscribe. Check out some of the older videos if you haven't seen them yet. Even if you're a new subscriber, go check out some of the earlier builds and maybe some of the other stuff before I started doing this stuff. Before I started doing this swap. Got another engine swap on there and a bunch of different car audio stuff. So I'm starting to plan in my head what I'm going to throw in here for stereo, stuff like that. So this thing's definitely going to get a stereo. So let me know what you guys think of that.